Aloha, everybody. Welcome to the Coconut Wireless. It is Thursday, March 27th. Let's go. I hope you guys having a wonderful evening. Uncle Charlie.
What's
Oh,
up, Mercer?
what are you eating, Uncle Charlie? What are you eating? What is that? Shrimp?
Yep.
Mm. Hang on, I gotta make my camera a little bit more straight. All right, there we go.
I'm going
Dried
back
shrimp.
back to the Hawaiian style.
Get some. You get some poi with that. No more some poi.
No, Papa can talk.
Oh, we went to where did we go? We went to a wedding last week or the week before, and it was like the poi was on tub. They gave you one tub. You know, like normally you get that little
Yep.
plastic. No, no, this was a tub.
Oh my
Was
goodness.
was was awesome. Was so delicious. What's up, Patty, Darson, Julie, Sam, nice, Blanche, Kehao, Auntie Mary. I wonder where Auntie Mary is at right now. Auntie, where are you at this moment? Are you on the high seas? She's a world traveler, and
Yep.
yeah, that was my plan at my stage in life was to be like my Auntie Mary and just travel all over the world. But no, no, the only traveling is from here to Lihui every day. What about you, Charlie? Any travels on the horizon for you? Like you planning on hitting the?
No. Um, I just can't take a chance of not being able to return back to Hawaii. I'm probably gonna get deported back to where I came from, which is Hawaii. So I'll probably go that route.
Look, my auntie's heading up the west coast of Africa.
Oh, oh,
So
nah.
again, Charlie, another
West Coast.
international show tonight. We appreciate all of you joining us tonight.
You
As
know what?
usual, with
I would like to invite you. You and I go on a cruise. You know where they get those Somali pirates. You and I just go have fun and
take them out.
just think about just relieve pressure. Just say, hey,
Danielle, vacation on East Coast and can't get the time figured. I know. I don't know that time changes, and you're right now on the East Coast. You're 6 hours ahead, which would make it 1 o'clock in the morning. That is a dedicated villager, Coconut Wireless villager. Well, thank you for joining us, Danielle. Hope you're having a good time on the East Coast.
yep,
We'll be heading out in a couple of weeks. Pats and I, we have to go to California for our Pop Warner Western Region Conference. And then we'll be there from Friday through Sunday. And then Sunday, we'll take a quick flight over to Texas to go hang out with the grandkids and my daughter and her boyfriend. So I'm looking forward to that. But we'll do a show from Austin, Texas. Hey, Charlie, I heard you guys had an amazing show last night, man. I heard you guys was cranking them over there at Troy's.
oh, we had so much fun, and I first would like to extend a heartfelt gratitude to Troy Morikawa and his family for having that venue and for letting not only us, but I'm sure there's other talent that some nights that go in and but that's the home of like a sports bar. They promote a lot of the dart games, and we got some top ranked dart throwers here from Kauai, and they're doing good. Yeah, they're doing real good.
We were there, and I gotta apologize, Charlie. I have not been in Troy's. Well, I haven't been in Troy's for a long time, but I have. I don't think I've ever seen you perform. The one night we went on a Wednesday night, we went. We took some of the office people. No, yeah, and you were absent. You were absent.
Hmm.
Yeah, you were not
Well,
there on a Wednesday night.
we
You
uh,
might have been
we
up the western coast of Africa. I don't know, but you were not at Troy's, and it kind of broke my heart. Kind of broke my heart.
well, what we're doing is we're telling everybody we're there Thursdays from 7 to 9,
Thursdays.
minus, yeah, minus one day Wednesday from 7 to 9. And last night, why it was so special because a lot of the old gang are snowbirds. You know, those visitors from as well as the transplants here to Kauai from that used to come out faithfully to Kalaheo Steak and Ribs. They were there in force last night, so we had a very special time. A special time.
Yeah. Well, I think the villagers we should set a date, a Wednesday, and for those villagers that are on Kauai, and for those of you that would like to have a journey over to Kauai for a Wednesday evening at Troy's, I think we should get a little villager get together over there, Charlie.
Yep,
That would be
yep.
fun,
Would
man. Yeah,
love
if you
to have.
guys in it, let me know in the comments, and we'll schedule them out, and we'll all show up and potluck, bring your own food, and support
Yeah,
Troy and his small business over there. It's a fun place to be. I really
yep,
enjoy Troy's. It's safe. The bathrooms are clean. God, I have a clean bathroom.
yep,
And that's Troy's an amazing host. He's just an
yeah.
amazing guy. You know, I went to school with Troy in high school, and that is living proof that you can turn your life around and become a successful member of society, regardless of your history or your
Your past.
past. So
Yeah.
I love him. He's an amazing guy, and
Oh
yeah, let's
yes.
do that. Let's do that. Let's pick a date, folks. You guys pick a date. Let's give us a few weeks so we can make sure everybody can make that schedule.
Yep. Just have a
Um,
nice.
yeah, another thing, Charlie. Sam is
Yeah.
asking, was it standing room only at the Raider Dome yesterday? I couldn't park my car, so I left. For those of you that don't know, Uncle Charlie, why don't you share a little bit about what you guys all helped put together and bring here to Kauai yesterday?
Sure. Well, it has always been a dream for a while. As you know, Auntie Stephanie, my lovely wife, has always made it a point that the financiers of projects that she's involved with, that they give back to the community. And it's always been her love and desire to give back to our children because, like the song says, the children are our future, right? And so what happened is she built a bond, and it started off with, believe it or not, men's basketball, but with Aaron Ginot, and then it moved over to our friends at women's basketball, and then we also did the men's baseball, UH men's baseball, anything UH. Well, the last time we got to see the University of Hawaii under Coach Robin Amo was during Koloa Plantation Days, right? They walked in the parade. Well, they graced us with their presence. They put on a little clinic yesterday, and they played the third ranked Wisconsin team, girls volleyball team, and they did an exhibition game yesterday. And all I can say, it was fantabulous, fantabulous.
That was my first time watching the Wahine play live. I did see the men's in the past, years and years ago, when they would come to Kauai and play Pepperdine.
Charlie
But I
Wade, yeah,
but I gotta tell you, I was so impressed with our home team, Wahine volleyball team, because that was a top team they were playing, Wisconsin. And I know people were saying, oh, it's an exhibition game, but I was honored to be the announcer. So I had the rosters right in front of me, and they played. Both sides played their starters right through. They had substitutions every now and then to give some girls a rest, but the majority of that game was played by starters. And why I
mm,
say that is because UH beat Wisconsin in the first set, and then they lost the next three, but it was by only a couple of points. Hawaii, the Wahine are contenders. They are good. They are amazing. And
mhm,
when you look at the difference, the Wisconsin had a girl that was 6'7", and she stood right in the middle of that net, but yet Hawaii was still able to get through that. And I was just so proud, man. I was just so excited. It was hard to announce because I was so into the game. They had a couple of those rallies that went on for a while. These girls are athletes, they're acrobats, they're gymnasts, they are amazing. So hats off to both teams. The
yeah,
hospitality was amazing, and they had a great time. And what was really nice was after the game, because they had the clinic in the morning with the kids. But at the end of the game, And I got to tell you, there were very few open seats in that brand new high school gym. But the girls they set up the tables. The girls sat there for over an hour afterwards to sign autographs and take pictures with all of the fans. And even a few of the Wisconsin girls, our young kids, went over there to go get pictures and autographs. It was just awesome to see that, Charlie. It was just, and mahalo to
Yeah.
you and Steph and all of the sponsors that made that happen. I don't
No,
think
it's
that'll be the last time.
no, it's not. And folks, we are committed. Both, as you know, Stephanie and I, we're transplants from Oahu since 2005, and we made a commitment that we're gonna die here. We're gonna retire and die here on Kauai. And so uh, we will be putting on more of these sports events to help benefit the children. You got up and coming kids, and they want to learn the fundamentals of basketball, football, baseball, and volleyball, men's, women. We're going to bring all of that talent to Kauai. And it takes a commitment from those who are willing, who really want to be involved with our dream. And I say our, but it's really Stephanie and her team. It's their dream to make this a reality for, because other than that, you would have to fly into you would have to be like brother Steve Cowie, who flies over to watch the girls play at the UH, at the Stan Sheriff. But we got them to come here, so it's really amazing. It's really amazing.
And you talk about dreams. I can tell you, and you know this, Charlie.
Yeah.
There were a lot of dreams created yesterday. A lot of those young women, those young girls, for the first time in their life, that was the first question I asked on the microphone. I asked, how many of you is this your first time seeing the Hawaii Rainbow Wahine volleyball players play live? And most of the hands went up. I mean, there was a lot of us that have never seen them. Most of those kids, probably 90% of those kids, had never watched a live college volleyball game. And I can guarantee you, by seeing their faces and watching them take pictures with them afterwards and getting autographs and seeing the excitement on their face, there's a bunch of those girls who went home last night and got that dream and said, I wanna play Wahine volleyball. And that would not have been possible if they weren't here on Kauai. So just an amazing afternoon. Patsy went, and Patsy, she usually doesn't get into the sports things, but I gotta tell you, she was excited and she had a blast. And yeah, that was awesome. I cannot wait for the next one. Cannot wait for the next one.
Well, one thing I did notice, you mentioned the girl 6'7". Just imagine you was dating her, but you wanted to be incognito. Very hard to walk around with a girl 6'7".
You
And
gotta have
that's what.
stilts. You gotta use stilts. You gotta use stilts.
Yeah. And you gotta tell her, sweetheart, I know you're not used to walking on concrete and asphalt, but please get the flattest thing possible next to bare feet because you're gonna sky over me.
She looks so out of place because 6'7" is so tall. On TV,
Yeah.
when you see them play on TV, they all look about the same height. I took a picture. I was standing behind them. They were all lined up facing the court, and this was before they had started. And I took a picture. I should have got it ready for tonight. I could have shown it, but it's me
Yeah.
standing and the camera eye level, and it's just a tower of women in front of me. I couldn't even see through. I couldn't even see the court. That's how tall they were. It was awesome. I don't know if any of you guys that are the villagers on tonight got a chance to go, but it was free too. We forgot to mention it was completely free.
Hmm.
So yeah, the problem with the Kauai School gym is the parking.
Yeah.
The parking sucks. So we went early, and for those that went early, they had some decent space. But I saw that cars parked so far away just to watch them play. So awesome. I get the roster memorized now, so when I watch them on TV, I gonna be able to recognize them. And that one girl, that Shirley Reed, number 13, she was amazing. She was just incredible, local girl, and from Kahuku.
Hmm.
and she was pounding that ball so damn hard. It's like,
So, if I'm not mistaken, the Reed family, all from that Laie, Kahuku area, it's all part of the, the rock stunt double, Tanawai Reed,
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
all family. And
yeah.
I might be mistaken, but usually that name is synonymous of that region of the island of Oahu. And but I tell you, it's I hope and pray that we can make this last for a very long time because we talked about building dreams, right? This is one way where we can get our kids exposure because you'd be surprised where a lot of these talents get found. It's at clinics like this, and they said, "Hey," especially when you hear a coach saying, "You know that person right there, you know that girl or that boy, watch them, watch them, keep an eye on them. They're going places," and that's telling. It tells you that they've already got talent in them, and it's just trying to mature that talent to the next level, right?
Hmm.
And so when you got coaches watching you, I mean that tells you something. Tells you
Yeah.
something.
Well, again, mahalo to everybody that made that happen. That was awesome. Let's see, Christy, my youngest granddaughter was honored to attend the clinic, and she loved it. She got many pictures with the players on both teams. Mahalo, Nui, Auntie Stephanie. Yeah, that was the best part of the whole thing is afterwards, just seeing those kids and his. Oh, Patsy's on. I didn't see her pop on. The smiles on the
Hello,
kids'
Patsy.
faces were priceless. They were so happy. Patsy couldn't get over it. We're just looking over the. We're upstairs and looking down and just watching these kids, the excitement. Oh, it was just so classic, so classic. And the girls. You know, when you go to a sporting event and they do autograph sessions, very few of the athletes are in that. They got to do it, so they do it. But it was very obvious yesterday that every single one of those women that were sitting on those tables doing autographs, wanted to be there and they enjoyed it. It was so real that. Uh, Cannot wait for the next one, man. I cannot wait for the next one.
Yeah.
And maybe we can get Robin on the show. We had the basketball coach. They're um, but yeah, she's a tough cookie. Robin is a tough cookie, man. I can't
Well,
imagine their practices. Whew.
I will share with you a little uh, self trivia of my interaction with Robin Amo back in the day. So back in the day, for those of you out there, especially if you're watching and you're on the island of Oahu, and you heard of Kaimana Beach. And at Kaimana Beach, they have this special sea pool known as the Waikiki Natatorium. Well, before you enter the gates, there was a court there, and that was a volleyball court. So every weekend, a lot of the beach boys, firemen would go play volleyball there, and it was brutal. I mean, guys like Squeeze Kamana, he's famous. His son Carter played for Michigan, right? Kamehameha School. A lot of stevedores playing volleyball, firemen playing volleyball, right? So they would have tournaments. Well, at the time, I used to see this girl, and this was like back in the 70s. I would see this girl come on, and she was a setter, and she was brutal because it wasn't upkept the surface. So I mean, it was like playing on like a asphalt basketball courts.
Mm-hmm.
So you see this girl, and she would dive sometime. I go, what the heck? Guess who it was?
Robin.
Robin Amo. And so from there, I believe it was her cousin Walter Amo, became a police officer um, with us guys on Maui. But then 3 or 4 years into his career, he switched gears and he transferred over to the Big Island, and that's where he finished up. And his name is Walter Amo. So, folks, I mean, I think of Robin now, Tita A, but back then she already had the love for the game, and it's funny how you can see how they can leap. These girls, it's just like they jump; it's effortless. Yeah, it's almost like they're walking on air. And I like you look at the guys, they gotta really wind up for just leap, but these girls just like boing, they just jump on their own. So.
Well, Robin was a standout volleyball player for UH many years ago. It's so
Better.
nice to see her come back, and she's not that tall.
Yep.
Robin is not that tall, but she's just so athletic, so talented. And I don't know this, but I wouldn't be surprised if she was already inducted into the Hall of Fame here in Hawaii. For some reason, I'm thinking that, but if not, I'm sure she will be. She's awesome. And then what she does with these girls, when they were here for the Kolo Days parade, they were all set up in that little, was it the cafeteria, I guess.
Hmm.
And so I went up to go nearly, and Robin was nowhere to be seen. And then they needed Robin for a picture, I think. And then I saw her come around the back of the the building, and she was sweating, soaking wet. I said, "Sister, are you okay?" She goes, "I had to get my workout in before we get busy." I said, "Wow, you don't take a day off?" She goes, "I cannot take a day off because I expect my girls not to take a day off, so I cannot take a day off." But that's a dedication and a commitment, and that's why, we saw what we saw yesterday was amazing. Was
Hey,
amazing.
I wanted to let the folks know that the first half of tonight's show is brought to you by Snickers. And I got the smaller ones. Got the smaller ones. So when I do indulge in the next 25, it will equal a big one. So anyway, I got the smaller ones right here. Brought to you by Snickers.
How
There
how
you
many how many of those little ones you have?
go. Well, I'll put it this way. I got this bag full of I got Reese's, I got Milky Ways, I got Baby Ruth, I got Snickers, I got M&Ms. Oh my goodness. Talk about cavities galore, huh?
Oh, I should have had my granola bars here, but I don't. It's in the kitchen. But, hey, so we started our budget today, Charlie. First day of the budget, a couple week
I want it.
process. It was
I
it
want
was
it.
today. We just had the mayor's office. Oh,
It's yours.
Oh, what is that? Cheerios.
yes,
Being
Cheerios.
healthy. Oh,
That's good too.
Hang on. All right, I got my Cheerios. So the second half of the show tonight is going to be brought to you by Cheerios.
Now watch. Now here we go. Here we go. Mm. Mm, 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 mm.
I,
Mm.
why? Why, Charles? Why?
Because I just had to.
Well, today, like I said, we had a budget today, so the mayor's office brought over some goodies in the morning, and we had some malasadas,
Mm.
some other pastries. So yeah, I had some sweets today, not too many, but these Cheerios are the honey nut Cheerios. They're really good. They're
Yeah,
really
they good.
really good, and it satisfy. I mean, the Reese's would be so much better, or a Reese's would be even better, but I just don't have any. But yeah, but today we had the mayor's office budget, and we'll go through each department one by one and go through the budget line by line, and um, it was interesting. So the first day is usually a quick day because there's not too much controversy in those budgets. It's when we get into public works and parks that's where we really get into the debates. But today was interesting. So we had HR up, and HR. That's Jahari's favorite is the Cheerios. That's how we started on the Cheerio kick. But anyway,
Mm.
so HR, Human Resources came up, and they had an interesting proposal, and they had an interesting proposal, and it was a proposal that would they were asking for $500,000, $500,000 to put out this new program, a wellness program for employees, which I don't have a problem with wellness programs. There's great incentives, retention and recruiting. Um, but they had a little different take on it. And apparently, we have an issue with absenteeism, sick leave abuse. So their rationale was that if we can pay these people extra money, that they would come to work. Charles. So I thought I read wrong, but I didn't. So rather than, I'm gonna play the clip because I think I'm curious. I kind of curious as to know is what do you guys think?
Well, before we do that, before we do that, what you're gonna play for us? It was already broadcasted, right?
Live. It was live. It's public. It's yeah.
Okay. Okay.
No,
I
it's
just
our
want you.
budget. By the
Yeah.
way, we every morning we start at 9 o'clock. During the normal council meetings, we start at 8:30. But the budget hearings are at 9 o'clock in the morning. You can watch it live at www.kauai.gov. Click on the webcast meetings, and you can watch it live, or you can watch the replays on Hawaii Channel 53. So yeah, this
No,
is not. This was
I,
a public meeting. Um,
I just want to make sure that, and I'm all for it because I want to see it because I didn't have a chance to see it,
no,
but I just wanted to make sure that there's no backlash
oh
because
no. I mean, our job on the county council is that we are the checks and balances. So if the administration wants something in their budget, it has to get approved by the council. And I look at my job as the county council, at the county council, as to make sure that we are not using your money, taxpayers' money, in ways that could be used for better purposes. So,
I'm going to ask you a question after
okay,
because I
ready?
want to know certain things.
Okay,
I'm asking for a friend. How's that?
okay, here we go. But what bothers me, and this is, I mean, extremely disturbing, the administration is considering a monetary incentive program to increase attendance along with productivity, thereby reducing absenteeism, sick leave abuse, all of which ultimately will reduce overtime costs. You're going to pay people to come to work. But we're already paying them to come to work. Sick leave abuse should be disciplined. We need to get rid of employees that are abusing sick leave. I understand the shortage in the work market, but that's not justification to keep them. So when I read this, it's like, okay, so we're going to basically just pay them so they don't abuse sick leave. We're going to pay them so they come to work. Well, that's what their pay is for. We gave them free medical. That was last year. The wellness programs, I mean, I would support wellness programs. I mean, a gym membership or something like that, but not use the money. If they're abusing sick leave, they shouldn't be working for us, period. And that's one of the frustrations for decades now, is how we tolerate that throughout this county. And that needs to be fixed. But you don't fix that by rewarding them and paying them to come to work. So I mean, I could, right now, unless I get better clarification, I definitely cannot support that. That's $500,000. So we're gonna reward the departments that are having problems getting the people to come to work, so we're gonna pay them more money?
Okay.
No, I don't think so. If we're gonna do wellness programs, then let's do wellness programs. A wellness program is not paying people for bad behavior. That to me, I don't know who thought that up, but that if that's the intention, obviously I'm not going to support that. Thank you. All right, Charles.
Okay. So my question is this, based on what I heard. How did they come up with that particular figure? And how will that figure address what percent of the population of the workforce that's not coming to work? That's my
Well,
question.
it's always been my policy on the council that I am not in. I am not going to approve funds for an idea. You come up with a plan. You come up with a plan that has measurables, that you're going to measure objectives. You're going to make sure that, how. But just the whole concept, I cannot support. This whole concept of paying people extra money because they're abusing sick leave or they're staying home too much. So we want them to come to work, but we cannot get them to come to work. So we're going to pay them. No, I'm sorry. That's a supervisory issue. If your supervisor cannot provide a workplace that these people want to come to work or not take, not documenting and taking care of these people that are abusing the leave, then the supervisor is the problem as well.
Well,
So yeah, I I'm gonna, as we go through this budget, because I know nobody has the time or the desire to sit and watch these things live or watch it on a weekend. So on the issues like this that are interesting, um, I'll share it. But yeah, it's just I couldn't believe it. And what I read in the beginning of that clip was their narrative. That's what they got. Every department gives us a narrative, so we get to read all of this beforehand. And that was their words, not mine.
Well, I guess again, I'm trying to understand. I know you most of the employees belong to a union, so they get a negotiated pay raise, right?
Hmm.
So the increase, the pay goes up. Similar process, and it's for every single hour they work. So it's not only for a captured period of time when there's something negatively, a negative, negatives that's happened in that period of their life, right? And I guess the point I'm trying to get at is through the union's negotiations, they get a one pay raise, and even with that pay raise, they still calling in sick. So
Yeah, and in my experience, it's a very small percentage of the workforce. I mean,
yeah,
this
yeah.
is not something that's rampant around, but there is a serious issue. And
No, but
if
when
we
you look at 500,000
yeah, half a million
per
dollars, man.
million, is to me, I think the average person, right? We're not gonna look at that as ooh, small.
No,
It's
that's
a,
big money. That's big
yeah.
money. I mean, and yeah, and we already have a wellness program. We contract with a company that does our employee assistance program. We all have that. All that's covered. So if people have stress, mental health issues, drug, alcohol dependency, we have programs in there. So I and the reason I am so upset about this is because look at all of the employees that come to work every day. Look at all the employees that got to pick up the slack when you have employees that are abusing sick leave or abusing their vacations or whatever. Uh, that's not cool. And you know, I don't know what management manual or what management course. I've been through so many with the military and you know and even at college. I don't know of any lead management course that will say if you have problem employees, just pay them more money. No, that just simply goes against any practical uh, education that you could get on this matter. So anyway, I did want to share that because the way it'll spin is hey, you're that councilman Raposo, he don't like give the workers right raise. It's not what I'm saying. I definitely support the collective bargaining agreements. And I support, and in fact, I've been talking with some of the unions that our entry level pay for many of our positions in a county is so low, and we cannot compete with the private sector. We cannot compete with the hotels. That's why we had to provide the medical benefit because we just couldn't compete. We couldn't even get people to come in. If they came in, they would leave to go work at the hotel or at the airlines or wherever. So we got to really relook at the entry level positions in our county government because we're not going to find anybody. But I think about all the conscientious, which the vast majority of our employees are all good employees and they come to work every day. So it's not fair, in my opinion. But anyway, I was just curious what our villagers thought because I just hope I'm on the right track.
Yeah, you are. You are.
It's the largest budget we've ever had. There's a lot of things that we're going to be discussing, and make sure we try to keep you guys up to date on the major items that we see. That was the only one we had today. All the rest was pretty much flat from last year. Nothing more added of significance. So I think overall we'll have a very good budget. But again, my job on the council is to make sure that we are not wasting taxpayer money.
Mhm. Well, good.
So when you gonna come work county, Charlie? I cannot wait for you come start working for the county. Oh, actually, you're running for council. That's right. I forgot.
Uh, uh, uh,
I could
uh.
I could I could use the help, man. I could use the help.
And I'd be more than happy to help you, but not with I just being honest. There's some restrictions if you want sitting accountant. That's not to say that you can do more when your hands are not that tied, right? But I think what we all have to realize is that somewhere along the line, before our generations, we started off with maybe a good idea, right? And then once I can see unions stepping in when employees were getting abused when there were no unions. Yeah. But then after a while, it almost seems like it was an entitlement. And I was part of it too. But then I got to see both sides and I see this balancing act. And sometimes you got to ask yourself, when is enough enough? Or how can you sustain it at this level? I mean, because if you're not a revenue producing entity, then really I don't know where you're going to get the funds from. It's going to have to be the taxpayers. But now, in your position, you got to be fiscally responsible. You cannot just use taxpayer funds as if it was like your own personal war chest and say, "Hey, I'm gonna take care of you. No worry." I know it doesn't work that way because you have to answer to your constituents, right?
Hmm.
Like, hey, I try to make ends meet, too, but gee whiz, everything is just going to skyrocket when you can put limits on certain things, this and that. And I think there's those out there that sometimes they just see it through one set of lens, and there's two sides of everything. And we got to see it from multiple sides. What can be done, and that's why I asked the question. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a physicist, but um, you just have to ask yourself, you know, why do we come up with these certain numbers? I know as a former traffic investigator, if you study enough physics, you'll know why certain things happen, right? Especially when a car goes out of control, you know certain things are going to happen. That's just Newton's laws, period. And I think in the budget world, that's where I applaud you because you're looking at numbers, and I'm not one to crunch numbers every day, but you do, you know, and how they come up with certain things and how they present it and what it's for. I would think that if you've got a round peg, you try to make the point that this needs to go into a round hole, not a square hole. So I think just by this presentation before the council today regarding $500,000 for this so-called wellness program, right, to help incentivize those to come to work and not stay home, you got a round peg that they're definitely trying to fit in a square hole on this one. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, and that is the job of the council. It's that is our job, and the administration's budget. It's their job to convince the council that this is what we really need. And the need on our island in infrastructure with landfill, solid waste,
Mhm.
wastewater, water. The need is high right now. So I always use the analogy or the scenario where you know I would love to have a swimming pool in my backyard, but I cannot afford it because there's other things in this house that needs to be fixed first, and that is where we should be focusing on getting our infrastructure up to speed, getting all of our the equipment and our facilities up to speed before we start looking at the things that we want to do. That's always been my guideline, and it's hard. You get 7 council members, and it takes 4 votes to cut anything. It takes 5 votes if we want to add something. So it's not a very simple thing, and everybody has different priorities. Everybody has different constituents. But I think when you're looking at uh, policy or general policy or concepts like what I just shared with you all, that's not specific to any one need that we have. It's not. And I think that whole idea that if we pay workers, if we give them incentives, they're going to come to work, then We're not doing the public justice, I don't think. Um,
Mhm. Well, I see a comment by Angela Bolosan, and yes, I mean, can't disagree with that.
no, not
Definitely
at all.
not at all. Hey, I want to cover something, not to, if I may, kind of
Sure.
jumping off the trail. So this morning, every so often, I feel the need to say to my staff, my immediate staff, and I don't do it all the time, but I want to try and do it. And when you play music and you have all this extra income, just for the point of, hey, can't take it to heaven, might as well spend it on something. And I've seen my spending habits change drastically. Before, man, I used to buy sound systems up the yin yang. I mean, one year I think I spent like almost 15 grand on sound systems, and I end up giving them away. I end up giving them away, and then so now today I'm standing in line at the MH host at the airport. Okay, and want to pick up breakfast. I'm buying breakfast for my staff. I shouldn't say my, but the staff I work with, because they're very important. So I'm not. I don't want to make it sound like, hey, you the king, this your staff. No, it doesn't work that way. But anyway, then there was this couple behind me, and they asked for a recommendation, and I said, I'm having the local boy that consists of, you can have link sausage, Portuguese sausage, or bacon with eggs and fried rice. And they go, oh, that sounds good. So I order mine, and I hear them, and it's pretty pricey. It's pretty pricey. So for two people, and then with I think coffee, water, and so then for two people, it came out to like 49 something for them, and I just jerked back, and I don't know what got into me, but I just said, hey, can I send you home safely with something? They said, what is that, sir? First they asked who I was, and I told them. But what is that? I said, would you allow me to buy your breakfast, please? And today it was like that. I did it several times today. Did it at lunch, did it at dinner, and just, I don't know what got into me, but today was one of those days that I felt the need that, hey, I was blessed last night, made some really good tips, and, and that's part of when you play music, you get tips, right? But, I always tell myself, and I tell my grandchildren, Papa cannot take this money to heaven, so instead of spending it foolishly, I go spend them on other people who maybe can be blessed. I've done it so many times. It's like uh, somebody told me, you know what you're doing? It's called paying it forward. And they explained to me what it was. I said, okay. So every time I drive through, if you folks are lucky enough to see my Armada driving through the drive-through at either McDonald's or Burger King or Taco Bell, come behind me, because more than likely I'm gonna pay it forward, and I'll tell the girl, here, this is for the car behind me, and it may cover your meal. I mean, it feels good.
I
I don't,
gotta I gotta start following you around more often, man.
yeah,
Damn.
but I feel good. I mean, it's like working out. I just said, hey, Lord, if you took me today, I got a smile on my face. I can say that much. I got a smile on my face.
Yeah, it's always nice when you can pay it forward. Yeah, it's always
Yeah,
so
I
cool,
love it.
so
I
cool.
love it.
Yeah, that is and the airport, man. The fried rice is the cheapest thing on the menu. So
Yeah,
that's all we eat when we go. Patsy and I will,
4.99. Yeah,
and it's so ono. Their fried
yeah.
rice is so ono. And they
You know
used
what?
to they used to have
You
the
know what makes
ketchup.
it really special?
I
I
I
found out
don't
what
I
makes
don't
it.
know.
Yeah. So if you watch them when they make it, what is so special? And sometimes they put it on the grill. They stir it. Some pieces will fall on the ground. They pick them back up, and I saw them flip them back in. That's Nah, I'm only teasing. I'm only teasing.
I'm you know what?
I'm gullible. I'm gullible.
Well, it's the last time we're eating in that damn restaurant. I can tell you
No,
that.
no.
Wow, we go McDonald's now. Patsy, we go McDonald's before we go airport. We'll eat in the parking lot and then we'll go inside. No, they get really their food is really
Yeah.
good over there. It's just it is so pricey. I don't know how and it's not just Kauai. It's every airport, all the airports except a couple of mainline airports. I saw the water was like $2. Kauai, it's on second mortgage to eat a meal over there. You gotta go. It's so expensive. I don't know how that's not price gouging. I don't, because
Brother, you know those
what
vending
the
machines?
yeah.
Airport. You know the vitamin water?
Hmm.
Guess how much it's now in the vending machine?
Probably $10, $8.
650.
It's insane. It's insane. But I guess that's the price of paradise, right?
Yeah.
As they always say.
Yep.
Yeah, I got one. I got one question. I need some help from the village, and Charlie, you too, because So I lease my car, my truck. I lease my truck is coming up for my end of the lease in a month or 2 months. So I got to start thinking what I'm going to keep them, or turn them in and get a new one, or just turn them in, drop them off, and just start catching the bus. But I'm leaning towards turning it in and getting a new car. So I am looking at other. Uh, I am really looking at the Honda Passport. I've just
Yeah.
been reading the reserves. I've always had a pickup truck. It's just I don't really use the pickup truck, so I'm just curious for those of you, the villagers, that can maybe recommend. I got to get it done now because the prices are going to be going up shortly. So I got to get it done. My daughter has a Pilot, the Honda Pilot, which is the Passport with a third row. I don't need the 3 rows. I just need the 2 rows.
Like an
So
SUV. Yeah. Like an SUV.
yeah, it's an all-wheel. It's and the thing drives like a charm. So I'm really leaning towards that. Um, or should I get another truck? I was looking at the Pathfinder today. The Pathfinder is really nice. It's pricey. The
I went to
Armada, the Charlie, I jumped in your Armada at the time. I don't know if you remember the first time I jumped in your Armada. It's like driving uh, the Lincoln Navigator. I mean, it's like riding in a Lincoln That Armada is.
guess how much up here now for the Armada.
I
Take a while. I went to
I
go price it the other day.
I don't know. It's got to be probably about 80 grand, I would think.
It is 80 grand.
Yeah, no, that is
But what disappointed me is I looked at the mileage. It's less mileage. So, you get advantages for some, like the comfort, but then you get disadvantage on the other, like the gas.
yeah.
I will say this: I am thinking about, the I don't know what it is. I saw it, and it has all the bells and whistles, but uh, I didn't get an opportunity to drive it. But just I went in it and I looked at it. And I said, "Wow, there's some room." But the 2025 Nissan Muranos.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
it's nice,
that's
nice.
comfort at its best, man. Whew.
Hey, Councilmember Bulasan is on. He said to get the CRV. The CRV is gorgeous. It's a little too small, I think. But yes, the CRV is nice. The price is right. That is actually on the list. But I'm leaning more towards the Passport. Ed McDowell says the county should get the county chair a free truck. Maybe he just tuned in and he never see the early part about me talking. No, I don't think so. But thanks, Ed. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you
Taxpayer.
for the thought. Yeah, but no, it's
uh, Subaru Forester. That is a nice car. That is
oh
really a
yeah,
nice car. Councilmember Cowden has one. She just got one last year, brand new. It's so
that
nice.
it has one of the highest resale value, that vehicle, the Forester. But I
Yeah,
noticed
I
a
mean
lot,
they're
a lot of
nice.
people in California, especially the ones that live up in the hills, like um, those places, Pacific Coast, all those. My brother in San Diego, he's pretty much his whole community. They all have Foresters, and I don't know if they got it on buy one get another on free type of deal, but it's plenty. It's
I like a lot of room inside. My I got a Nissan Frontier right now. It's really comfortable in the front. The back not so. For the people that got to ride in the back, it's not so. So that's why I kind of looking at the Passport or maybe even the Pilot. Um, Angela has one.
What are you looking at the price points you pay on the passport? What?
The Passport. runs about 42,000.
Get them around. It's almost the same.
The Consumer Reports Car and Driver, they're ranking the Pilot and the Passport really high. Um, but yeah, that's why I'm curious if anybody has that. The Murano is really nice. I was actually I have been hung up on the Rogue. You know the Nissan Rogue? They got all these specials.
The Rock Crete is 3032. It's off outfitted with the bells and whistles. And for
Yeah,
somebody like you and Patsy, it would be perfect.
but then it's a three-cylinder, Charlie.
Huh?
It's a three-cylinder.
No,
It
it's not.
is. It
No, it's not.
is. I
No.
promise you. It's I Charlie.
Okay, okay.
I've been.
Do you know how it works? The three cylinder?
It's a three.
No, psychologically, but do you know how it works?
It's a turbo.
No. Let me tell you, it's a three cylinder. When you went to go look at the vehicle, which side of the vehicle were you on? It makes a difference.
The left side, driver's side.
The driver's side, okay.
Yeah.
If you went to the passenger side, only get one tire on the front and the back tire missing. That's like three cylinders mean only three tires.
I tell you. But it's a beautiful car. Forester
Yeah,
was too big for me. Got the Crosstrek, and I love it. Ride is better than my. Oh my God, Ride is better than the Lexus. I was in the Lexus on an Uber, and but I went look at the prices. Oh my Lord,
the only
no.
reason I would buy a Lexus, and it has nothing to do with driving it. It has one of the best camera system. You know the 360
Oh
camera.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You can see on top, underneath, wherever. You can be outside. The thing can catch you digging your nose, whatever it wants to do. It has the best camera on the market. So that's the only reason why I would probably get one. But
Yeah,
that's
it's
good. That
so
is good.
expensive. Oh.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
that's
I gotta make a decision this week, and I'm running out of days. So we'll see. We'll see.
yeah.
The Armada. Oh, here, Melissa. I missed that. I don't know how I missed that one. Checking in late. We love our Armada, but really utilizing it more on the mainland for our truck. Yeah, I mean that Armada. It is just nuts.
Yeah.
For mileage for our Armada on the mainland, we are really getting more miles on the gas. Yeah, because you're driving straight.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Corolla Cross, if ever get enough brought in. What's up, Brian Ingalls? What's up? One of the originals. Mahalo for joining us, man. I know you're far away too, so it's late wherever you're at. I know it's late, but yeah. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But this Frontier that I have is awesome. It's comfortable. It's bright red.
Well, whatever I'm sure, whatever you decide, one comfort. Well, first of all, to me, everything that I get is I gotta make sure it's safe for the wife and I, or if any of my grandchildren with me, it's gotta be safe.
Yeah.
It's gotta have the all the bells and whistles when it comes to the impact, side impact, front, rear, and then it's the comfort factor because if we do take long drives, I just want something that Stephanie can just recline, close her eyes until we reach Waimea, one of those things. And, there's a lot of times I'm pretty sure Patsy too. You're driving her right, and her eyes start peeling. You don't want to stay. You don't want her to stay up. You want her to say, "Hey, honey, recline the chair. Just close your eyes. I'll wake you up when we get home." That type of deal.
Yeah. No, no,
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah, I think the comfort is really important, but of course safety. And I think pretty much most of the cars today is safe, relatively safe. Um, but you're right, man. You don't want to get involved in an accident, and God
Yeah.
forbid, and you thing turn into a sardine can. So
Yeah.
I'll let you guys know, though. I'll let you guys know when I decide. But it's got to be soon. It's got to be soon.
Yeah. Three cylinders.
Three cylinders, bro. I was like, what the heck?
Well, they got
Um,
those mini trucks, the ones from Japan. You see them around.
oh yeah,
If they
the putt putts, yeah.
Yeah, is it at 1.5?
Yeah,
Something
yeah,
like that.
yeah. It's like a motorcycle engine in that thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's like the most uncomfortable thing. It's cool. I guess it's cool. I mean, it looks cool, but
And
it's
now they got self-riding motorcycles. It stays upright. The thing doesn't go down.
Oh, really?
but from Honda. Yep.
Well, maybe I'll get one of those instead then, Charlie. Let's
I
get
mean,
that.
it's neat. I mean,
I
but
miss my Harley. I miss my Harley, man. I miss my Harley, but
somebody like me gonna depend on that so much. I never think I gonna fall down, and all of a sudden the gyro stabilizer goes out. I think, no worry, I'm gonna be held up. Boom, take a crash.
oh my God. My husband wish I would go sleep. I love the ride from the west side to town on Kauai. Such a yeah, he'd like you go sleep, but you don't, right? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I driving on the mainland is so much more enjoyable than driving here. It's yesterday we left the house. We were supposed to be at the gym at 11, and we left the house, and as soon as we pulled out of Wailo House Slots, backed up. Right, it was a holiday. It was Prince Kuhil Day, and for some reason, the state of Hawaii Department of Transportation believes that on holidays no need the contra, so no more contra flow, and we had crawled all the way to Lihui. It was ridiculous. So we got to the gym a little bit late, but that's the only thing on the on the mainland. I guess in LA, traffic rush hour, but for the most part, you're driving on the mainland. You can go drive 50, 60, 70 miles away and set your cruise control on 90 miles an hour and just enjoy the drive. Uh, but not here.
Yeah.
So you gotta have comfort. You gotta have comfort. You gotta have an air conditioning that blows cold. Otherwise it's oh, miserable.
Well,
Miserable.
a very comfortable car, and I loved it. But ever since my lovely wife had got rear-ended in it, but it worked wonders for me and Bernard. One time, two big Smurfs in one Kia Soul. That is a comfortable riding vehicle. I never thought it, and that's one thing I will never take away from that vehicle because we own two, and at the time, and both of them gave us the same ride, very comfortable.
That car has a lot of room inside.
Yep.
We rented a car on Oahu. It was a Kia 4. I think it was called the 4. I think they have a 4, like a 5, a 6, but it
Mm.
was like one of the smoothest cars I've ever ridden in. Brian says the state flower here is the traffic cone, constant construction. He's up in the mainland, but kind of here too, man. It's not construction. It's just shoulder work, road work, whatever, tree trimming. It's crazy, but
Hey, since we're talking about that, I think I gotta call up the state and find out because I know, I mean, unless the laws change, they gotta get off the road by a certain time. That means equipment, everything gotta get off the road by a certain time. And when they don't, that chain reaction backlog. Oh my goodness, it's terrible. It's terrible. And so, I kind of wonder. Many places require the flagman to have be certified, and so I used to teach that class before. And there's things that you got to know how many feet before the actual site, and how many feet before that sign warning drivers that there is an upcoming, and then you have to have a certain sign so many feet away from the flagmen themselves. And then there's rules on how they hold the signs and how they move the traffic. And I just look at some of these young gentlemen that's working on the side of the road, and people out there know what I'm talking about because there's like tree trimming, road widening projects, this and that. Some of these young guys, they stand over there smoking a cigarette, no cares in the world. But
texting on the phone. They're on the
yeah,
phone, going to their Facebook or Instagram. Yeah, I
yeah,
see that too. There's a couple of companies that they hire, but a lot of these jobs they just doing them in house. They're just hiring guys off the street, and yeah.
Great
Boy.
Pacific has been a a leader in that area with their roadway solutions. Yeah,
Yeah,
those
that's the
guys.
one. Those guys are good. Those guys are
Yeah.
good.
Hmm.
What's up, Joanne? Aloha. Thank you for jumping in tonight. We're wrapping up already. We got a couple minutes left. Christine, we're gonna have to purchase army tankers protect you driving and the crazy people on the roads nowadays. Scary driving, walking, road rage is real. Yes,
You
it
know,
is.
for the first time, and I was coming home between Kilohana and the traffic light at KCC, and I guess the person was in my blind spot. I went over, but you know when you get that sixth sense, like, oh, it's not good. I pulled back, and luckily the lady in a small compact beside me slowed down, and I waved at her, apologizing, and I just want to openly apologize to her and say I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that, and I mean I checked, but it's just she was in that blind spot, and but again, being a traffic instructor one time before, I should have known better. You look once, you look twice, you look three times before the coast is clear, then you make your merge. And I just looked once and I went. And like a low, I almost collided with her, but I know I must have given her a scare. So if you're watching or anybody knows through conversation with a friend that a silver colored Armada almost collided with them between uh, a traffic light at Kilohana and KCC going westbound, and this had to be around 4:30, 4:45 today. I, for the record, it was me, and I apologize for that action. It will never happen again, and I'm just sorry.
Does your Armada have that little red light on the side mirror?
Elena says no, no.
That one you got to
It-
get, man. That is such. I if not for that on my truck.
oh no, no,
Uh,
no! I get something similar. It's called Stephanie because she gave me one yell, and that's why it called me for pullback real fast.
yeah. No, that little red warning light is so cool. It's in the
Yeah,
mirror, so when you look to it, if that orange light on, because Charlie, you're right, man. Sometimes you do not see them. They're just right in the right spot. You cannot see them. And in old days, you just make that turn like you did today, and never catch them in time, and you crash.
yeah,
So we appreciate your honesty, man. Appreciate your honesty.
yeah.
Anything else,
No,
bro? Before we wrap this thing up, any closing thoughts, man?
yeah. For folks, I do want to say for the time I've known Mel and throughout the entire COVID, I guess today was a sentimental day for me because I want to let the viewers out there know that when we had COVID, it was more of a therapy for me after losing my brother. But I watch my brother Mel day in and day out and what he does. I just want to say this: if he decides to take the next step in his political career, I'm going to ask everybody really think hard and really see what this man has done. And I am the luckiest friend in the world to have a brother like Mel because I know he can do a lot for us. And I don't know why I chose tonight on this show to say what I'm saying, but I just had to say it. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, you know that's not supposed to be allowed, but I'll take it,
Yeah,
Charlie. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, I that's another decision I got to make real soon. I was just telling Patsy today, this afternoon. It's a decision whether I'm gonna run for mayor in the next election or stay on the council. I'm really leaning towards running for mayor. A lot of people coming up and asking, and um, yeah, uh, there's a lot of things that I got to think about. But I do believe that I could help this county out. And let me just say this: when I make that decision, Charlie, the announcement will be made right here on the Coconut Wireless. That's where it will be, and you guys will all be the first to know. But I appreciate the kind words, Charlie. I love you, man. You're a good. You are like a brother. When I first met you, you were like my dad because I thought you were so much older than me. And then as we got to know each other, I realized we're not that far apart. So yeah, you're like a brother, man, and I appreciate you and Steph and everybody else. So think about those dates for the get together. The village will be at Troy's on a Wednesday night. Let's think about it. Maybe next month sometime,
yeah,
and we'll get it done, and that'll be fun.
it, it'll
All
be
right,
fun.
all right, folks. You guys until next week, Thursday, 7 o'clock, same place, same time. We'll see you guys then. Ahui ho. We love you guys. Take care. God
Love
bless.
you guys.
Aloha.